Okay, new tournament. This is like the third hand dealt. Nothing happened so far. I limped here under the gun just because people are so bad. I have to assume that they hope that I'm bad. So let's make a big bet as if a bad player would try to protect with like pocket eights. So here we gotta hope he has a queen or a pocket pair. I guess if I check, it's gonna look suspicious, so I have to bet maybe a little small. He calls. I think if I check, he's gonna check behind just because my hand looks really strong right now. So maybe I just bet it a little bit more. I think he'll fold here, but let's make it 17-10. Wow, he's calling the whole way. Does he have an 8? That would be unfortunate. I think I'm going to go all in because he's probably going to call me with all pocket pairs. Not all, but like probably hero call here with like tens, jacks. I'm going all in. So I don't think I could have played that any better. He probably had a queen or like a pair of tens or jacks, and he just decided he's not folding. My betting line was, my bet sizing was kind of weird. Pre-flop I made I limped and then I made a huge raise. He calls. Then on the flop I make a relatively small raise, a small bet, and then he calls. Then on the turn I make a big bet because it kind of like makes it look like, oh, I think he's weak and he won't call since he just is playing it kind of passively. And then he calls, and when he calls at that point, I really have to kind of think about getting max value with aces there on the river, just because it's so early in the tournament and so many bad players do exactly what I did with like ace king or some stupid hand, So I just went ahead and shipped it. I potted it and he called. No idea what he had, but we're going to find out. So here I'm going to check. Oh, I thought I checked. I don't know what's going on over here. He's probably going to c-bet. No? Okay, so he's either pot controlling a king, which I doubt. I'm pretty sure he's going to c-bet a king, so I'll just bet 60. And he calls. And that's a pretty good card. So I'm going to go ahead and bet again 80. So this guy had ace queen. Look at that. He had a real hand. This is why I have to get max value. So I think well played by me. I managed to get stacks in, when we're 500 big blinds deep. So I'm just so tempted to call here on the button. And just be in position. There we go. $120 into 190. I'm gonna go ahead and raise here, make it look a little bit like fishy here with a flush draw or some kind of draw. So let's make it 280. Let's make it 290. I should show, but I'm not going to. Good old ace queen. Wow. Did I just stack somebody for 500 big blinds? That's nuts. All right, so I'm big stack now. I need to start playing a little bit. In the previous tournaments, I had been folding a lot. Here I'm going to use my. Let's see, what is he calling with? He's probably calling with a jack, a flush draw. He could have an ace. I'm going to get a little bit of value here. Alright, now I river 2 pair. I could bet 5-10 here. And I'm 3xing it now just because I don't know, just because I'm big stack, I guess. I normally 2x it, but because I like to play small ball. But when I've got chips and I can put the pressure on, I like to put the pressure on. The problem is everybody knows that we're super deep and they're calling with all kinds of stuff to try to crack a big hand. I might take a stab at it here. It's a really small bet, but such a dry board, like unless I have a pocket pair, I don't see how they can even call a small bet. Maybe ace high would call. Okay, so there were no flush draws, but I'm gonna bet 380. I mean, he'll probably call me with a pocket pair. So, should I bet 920? Let's bet 880. Yeah, I got to think a little bit more about my bet sizing on the river. The previous tournament, I think I made a mistake when I had King 7 and I tried to get better king to fold on the river, and I think I bet 1900 into 4600, making it look, it's not a small bet, but it's value-y looking. But if my target was a king queen in that specific hand, and I'm trying to get king queen or king jack to fold, then I really think that my bet should have been bigger. Now he might get stubborn and still call me because my hand looks a little suspicious. I called him on the flop. I called a check raise on the flop, and then the ace peeled, and then I called on the turn. And then on the river he checked, I guess, to induce a bluff perhaps, or to pot control, because he didn't want to bet and then get raised. So he checked in order to give himself, a cheaper call. So I should have just recognized that and just, overbet the pot. Which I did recognize it, I just didn't act accordingly. Alright, we're gonna keep notes on people just to see what's up. Again, is it too nitty to fold here, ace queen? We're really deep. I'm not folding. I have position. I don't believe he would do that with ace jack. So he's either got me crushed or we're flipping, but I do have position and we're deep. So I'm going to go ahead and call. And unless this is a cooler, I'm pretty much golden here. There are no flush draws, there are only gut shots, so don't have to worry about the cutoff all that much. And I'm just going to call here, I believe. If he has ace king, he's going to think he's good the whole way. If I raise, he's not folding, but there's just ace king in his range that I would get max value from by raising. Weaker ace. He could have a set here. I'm just going to call. If he three barrels, I'm probably just calling all three barrels. I don't think I would raise at any point. We really don't want to see a diamond on the river or a king. Those would be pretty bad, but there's only I guess 9, 10, 11, 12 cards that are bad for us. And again, there's no point in raising, so I'm just going to call here. That is a fantastic card. If he checks, I will be betting. And once again, I mean, unless I'm coolered, I mean, he could have pocket aces or pocket queens, but that means that the case ace or case queen is plain. Could have pocket fives, I guess. That would be kind of a cooler as well. I could raise for value, but what happens if he goes all in? I'm basically committed. I gotta think about this a little bit. Would he call a raise with ace king? If I min raise and he goes all in, I gotta call. But then that's pretty nasty. I mean, what does he have here? Really, my target would be ace king if I raise. And that's just one one possibility. I think calling is better here. I really want to raise. I think I have the best hand. You just can't play scared, you know what I mean? You can't play scared. I think I have the best hand, unless it's a cooler. So why don't we just make it the minimum? Something like 49.20. Obviously, I'm not folding if he goes all in. That's obvious, but and the fact that he hasn't gone all in already makes me feel like pretty good. Good job, sir. Tap on the bat there. Well played, senor. When he didn't snap shove, I'm basically golden 100% of the time, because he knows I'm not folding to an all-in unless I got jack squat. And ace king was my target, and there it goes, ace queen. I'm sorry, ace king. Ace king was my target, and there it is, ace king. So, like I said, I didn't think he would, you know, it's too early. You don't really know how players are playing, but I just don't see people generally 3-betting out of the small blind versus an under the gun open with a hand like ace jack. So therefore, my ace queen is not doing very well against that range. Well, that's not true. I mean, I do have 2 overs to, you know, pocket pair of jacks or 10s, or, you know, even if he's got kings, I got an over. So it does okay. That's why folding would be bad, especially this deep and being in position against somebody who's representing a big hand. So, you know, yes, I got lucky. That's for sure. Luck is part of the game, but at the same time, I think I made, you know, good, solid decisions, knowing that I could be crushed, and I'm only going to get money into the pot in position, you know, in a situation like this. I mean, if the flop comes ace, rag, I'm just going to call all 3 streets. I'm not going to raise at any point. And that would have been unfortunate, because I would have lost a substantial amount of chips there. You know, hitting an ace when you have ace queen is just kind of unfortunate. Once again, I mean, on the button, the guy's limping. So it's time to, you know, put some aggression here. And to be honest, I've only shown down good hands, so no reason to think that I'm getting out of line. So, well, this is why I don't like taking notes, because my players disappear. And why are we playing heads up here? That doesn't make any sense. Just happened. What's going on? I guess I check. I'm gonna wait for some players to sit down. It's not the worst flop in the world. I can take a stab at it. barrel that turn for sure. Brings me the backdoor flush draw, and I got an over to the 8. I'm just gonna fold. Just don't want any part of that. And this is why you fold 10-3. You flop top pair, and then you're no good. You flop top pair out of position, you're not going to get value. You don't really know where you're at in the hand. It's multi-weight, you know, coordinated board. For what? And then he pots the river, and you're like, oh, he smells weakness, therefore he's bluffing, I call. And then you lose to the nuts. And just like that, you can spew 500 chips, 600 chips, 800 chips. And even though I'm chip leader here, second place with 160 people, do I really want to lose 1,000 chips just because I played 10-3? No. So the last tournament I was card dead the whole tournament. I did get a straight flush to the king, but I didn't get much action on that hand. The first hand of that tournament I got ace king, and I timed out by mistake, but the guy had put me all in basically a 5-bet shove. So I got ace king the first hand, then I got a straight flush to the king at some point, and other than that I was card dead until the very last hand of the tournament, where I got pocket aces with 15 big blinds. I think it was 15. And basically I was under the gun. I open 2 callers. The flop is 6-6-7. I check. Just because I was so short that I was not going anywhere. I just wanted somebody to take a stab at that flop. 6-6-7, 2 clubs. And one guy bets, the other guy folds. He bet half my stack, and obviously at that point I don't think he's folding anything, and I just go all in. And naturally, I'm sorry, the flop was 6-7-7, 2 clubs. And he has pocket sixes for the flopped boat. So that was not fun. I was looking for a nice double up there, get up to about 25 or 30 bigs. With about 250 people left out of 1,000. So that was unfortunate, but it happens. All right, I'm talking too much. I need to, again, pay attention here. Even though I'm big stack, I'm going to continue to play a pretty tight range in early position. I will probably be loosening up my range in from the hijack on. flop. So seat 83 is trying to represent an ace when he limps. Three, five, and nuts. Well, second nuts. Well, I guess he did have the ace. He limps with ace 10 suited. Okay, I think that's valuable information. I'll make him blue. Limps in mid with ace 10 suited. Then check calls. No, that's not right. Okay, I mean, I don't think he played it bad except for the limp. So, you know, he floated on the flop with a bunch of backdoor draws. He hit the ace on the turn, big deal. But it's important to note that he limped with ace 10 suited. What's also important to note is that seat 163. The fact that he called out of the small blind with 3-5 is not important, but he donks limped pot on the flop with open ender 3-5 on queen 4 deuce rainbow flop. Turns the ace and check calls. Isn't that what he did? Turns the ace and check calls. Then leads river. No, that didn't happen either. Did he check raise everywhere? Yeah, he checked. Check raise the river. I hate it when I have the nuts. This guy is betting too big. What's up with him? Then check min raises the river. Six X's is under the gun with king king. I feel like I should be playing more hands because I'm just like flopping monsters left and right. But I'm just obviously not being serious here. What the heck is going on here? You kidding me? people would not be doing this if it was for, you know, for real, for a lot of money to enter. And $50 doesn't mean much to people. You know, this guy opens 10x under the gun, and this guy goes all in 6,000 at the 75-150 level. I mean, how many big blinds is that? 40 with 10s, 40 big blinds with 10s. After one guy opens under the gun, 10x. And then this guy overshoves with pocket jacks. All right, we're back. Ace-4 offsuit. Not gonna play it. We've got an early position raise. We have 6 people left to act. Pretty standard there. I feel I played this hand very well, to the best of my ability. I don't think I could have played it any better. If we were to have a spreadsheet with every hand that is played, this would be in the played it the best way possible column. So now I got a big stack right on my left. That cannot be good. We're talking 2 of the top 5 big stacks in the tournament are at this table. We have 25 tables going. And the guy's right on my left. Well, it's not like I've been getting out of line, so I'll continue to just play pretty snug, pre-ante, develop that tight image, and then possibly loosening up a little bit later. That's unfortunate. I wanted to call there on the button with 10-9 of diamonds when 2 people are in here. This is a pretty aggressive table if you ask me. Maybe because it's such a deep structured tournament. People feel they can splash around a little bit. I'm going to be taking notes anymore. This is just too time consuming, too much effort, and until I learn how to take better and faster notes, I don't think I'm going to be taking notes because it is just killing me here. I just need to take quick notes. Like, this guy's a donkey, this guy's passive, this guy's aggro, just your standard stuff. I mean, that feels like a good squeeze spot, but just my hand, not very good for that squeeze. You know, this guy probably limped with like ace rag suited, like, you know, ace three of spades or something like that. He just wants to see a cheap flop and try to flop the nuts or try to flop the nut draw. I mean, you could put pressure on somebody like that because they're just going to miss so often and they're going to feel that they're dominated. So that would have been a good squeeze. You know, I could have probably done it with any two cards. But I think, you know, you have to be a little bit selective with which cards you squeeze with. 10 deuce off is just not, doesn't have very good equity when called. You know, this guy probably limped with like ace rag suited, like, you know, ace three of spades or something like that. He just wants to see a cheap flop and try to flop the nuts or try to flop the nut draw. I mean, you could put pressure on somebody like that because they're just going to miss so often and they're going to feel that they're dominated. So that would have been a good squeeze. You know, I could have probably done it with any two cards. But I think, you know, you have to be a little bit selective with which cards you squeeze with. 10 deuce off is just not, doesn't have very good equity when called. As long as the chips stay to my right, I'm happy. Seven suited. So this guy's got 20 big blinds, or 22 big blinds, and I'm going to basically put him to the test here. If he folds, I'll show the ace. I think I gotta call him now. That was a good call by me. Oh my God, why can I hold? That sucks. 36,000 I would have. I know is irrelevant. But I would be in 5th place. Instead, I'm in 60th, and this guy's ahead of me now because he caught a queen. And that's the part that's tilting. Now I'm not raising because I'm tilted. I'm raising because I'm on the button with king high. When I 3-bet him, I thought, in that blind versus blind, when I 3-bet him, I thought that, I thought I could fold if he goes all in. I mean, I expected to win there very often with my 3-bet. But when he shoves, I just thought that, you know, I'd be able to fold. But then I looked at the pot odds, and it just doesn't make sense. Once I 3-bet, I'm basically committed with my ace-8 hand. You know, it's probably the bottom of my range there for 3-betting. I 3-bet a little bit on the larger side, which committed me. Maybe if I had a hand like ace-6 or something like that, I would have 3-bet a little bit smaller and then given myself some room to fold. But with ace-8, I raised a little bit on the bigger side, and then and all of a sudden this guy is in 3rd place in the tournament because he flops a set against a bigger pair. Even though I would love to call here, I'm not. Any one of these people behind me could wake up with a hand. I mean, he didn't play it bad. He had king, queen, blind versus blind, and he was the last aggressor, so, you know, he didn't play it bad. Like I said, once I 3-bet and he jammed, you know, folding would be pretty bad there, so, you know, I had to call, giving each other's ranges in that blind versus blind. My ace-8, I think, performs very well. It's just unfortunate that, you know, it was a 60-40 and he hit. If I win that pot, I put myself in a commanding position here in this tournament. Still doing all right though. Just gotta be patient. Can't tilt. Okay, so I got 42 big blinds, 45 big blinds, something like that. Such a big raise there. think folding nines is it's just 3,200. I guess I'm just gonna call and see what's up. I hope I found the set here. I really shouldn't be set mining here, but if I call, that's gonna put about 7,000 in the pot. And then it's gonna be 2-to-1 stack to pot ratio. I think you could play it carefully post flop. Am I calling, trying to get myself to call here? Just, I don't think folding pocket nines is correct, so I have to call here. I mean, I expect him to c-bet 100% of his range, so, you know, what am I going to do? Fold now? Or do I just jam it here? Of course, I'm only getting called by better. I just feel like he's going to jam the turn so often, and then I'm in a pretty bad spot. Going to be a jam on the turn. My hand's kind of looking like ace king the way that I'm tanking so long, or like exactly what I have pocket nines. I think if I call here, I have to call the turn. Oh my God, the worst possible card ever. The worst card ever. Unless I can represent it if he checks behind. That's unfortunate. Obviously I can't do anything now. Might have bluffed me with a weaker pair, but it's the power of position. Oh, I don't know if I played that horribly or what. So now I'm down to 20 big blinds. With 7 deuce in the big blind. This guy's gonna jam, and I gotta fold. I'm back to starting stack, folks. Back to starting. So pretty soon I'm going to start jamming over this guy. If he keeps 4xing it like that. Christ, man. Fucking kidding me? Oh Lord, have mercy. I run so bad. I can't win these tournaments. So tilting. So tilting. So tilting, I tell you.